On a freezing Monday morning, as dawn's first light barely kissed the rooftops of the city, a woman stood outside a towering glass building clutching her little girl to her chest. Her coat was too thin for the biting wind, and her fingers trembled, not just from the cold but from the weight of the decision she was about to make. Inside that skyscraper awaited the job that put food on their table, but in her arms was her world, her 6-year-old daughter, feverish, fragile, and in desperate need of warmth and rest. That morning was supposed to be like any other for the rest of the world, but for this mother, it was a battle between duty and love, survival and sacrifice. And neither she nor the child knew that by the end of the day, a single word from the little girl would turn their lives upside down. Before we dive deeper into this unforgettable journey of love, loss, and redemption, if you believe in kindness, in the power of second chances, and in stories that remind us of our shared humanity, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might need hope today, comment your thoughts as you listen, and don't forget to subscribe to StoryNest so you never miss another heart-touching tale. The woman's name was Clara Hayes, 32 years old, with tired eyes that still held a flicker of determination. Once a bright college graduate with dreams of becoming a designer, Clara's life took a sharp, unexpected turn 6 years ago. She had fallen in love, hard and fast, with a man who promised her forever. But just when she thought her future was certain, he disappeared. No goodbye. No explanation. She had been left with a newborn baby, a broken heart, and a mountain of bills she had no idea how to pay. Over the years, Clara learned to survive one day at a time. Her daughter, Lily, became her source of strength. Every extra shift she took, every meal she skipped so Lily could eat, every time she forced herself to smile when her world felt like it was falling apart, she did it for her little girl. The job Clara now held was as an assistant in a large corporation's logistics department. It wasn't glamorous, but it came with a steady paycheck and, most importantly, health insurance, something she desperately needed for Lily, who had always been prone to respiratory infections. Clara rarely missed work because she couldn't afford to. But on that particular morning, Lily had woken up burning with fever, her tiny body shivering despite the blankets wrapped around her. Clara couldn't leave her alone at home, and she couldn't risk losing her job by calling in sick again. With no relatives to help, no neighbors she could trust, Clara made the difficult choice to bundle Lily in a scarf and coat, carry her to the bus stop, and take her to the office. The office lobby was bustling with employees heading to their departments, coffee cups in hand, unaware of the small drama unfolding at the entrance. Clara tried to keep her head down, hoping to slip past unnoticed. Lily's small arms clung to her mother's neck, her flushed cheeks pressed against Clara's shoulder. The little girl's breathing was shallow, and every cough pierced Clara's heart like a blade. As she stepped into the elevator, her mind swirled with worry, how to keep Lily comfortable, how to get through the day without anyone noticing. She had no idea that on the top floor of the building, a new chapter of her life was about to begin. That morning marked the arrival of a new CEO, Ethan Blake. Rumors had been buzzing for weeks about his takeover, painting him as a young but fiercely ambitious businessman with a reputation for turning failing companies into success stories. No one had seen him yet, but his name alone carried weight, making even the most confident employees nervous. Clara didn't care about office politics that day, all she cared about was keeping her daughter safe and unnoticed. She set Lily up in a quiet corner near her desk with a blanket and a bottle of water, whispering promises of soup and cartoons once they got home. Hours passed with Clara shuffling papers, answering calls, and occasionally checking Lily's temperature with a trembling hand. The child slept most of the morning, her small face pale and damp with sweat. But by lunchtime, Lily stirred awake, her bright green eyes, the same ones that had always been Clara's source of hope, scanning the office curiously. At that very moment, the elevator chimed and out stepped Ethan Blake. He walked with quiet authority, his dark suit immaculate, his presence commanding attention. Clara glanced up just once and then froze. Her heart skipped a beat as recognition struck like lightning. She knew that face, the strong jawline, the deep brown eyes. It was the man she had loved and lost, the one who had vanished from her life without a trace. Ethan didn't notice her at first, he was engrossed in a conversation with his assistant. But Lily, still drowsy and feverish, lifted her head and saw him. For reasons Clara couldn't comprehend, the little girl's face lit up, and with a weak but clear voice that echoed in the otherwise quiet office, she called out, "Daddy." The word cut through the air like a siren. Ethan stopped mid-step, his back stiffening as though the single word had pierced straight through his composed exterior. Slowly, he turned, his eyes locking on the child. Confusion, shock, and something deeper, something almost painful, flickered across his face. Clara's heart pounded in her chest as she instinctively stepped toward Lily, whispering her name to hush her. But the damage was already done. For a long, tense moment, Ethan just stared at them, his expression unreadable. Then his gaze shifted to Clara, and she saw recognition dawning in his eyes, mingled with disbelief and regret. The air between them grew heavy with unspoken memories. Clara felt her knees weaken as the past came rushing back, how they had met as interns, how they had shared dreams over late-night coffee, how she had trusted him with her heart, and how that trust had been shattered when he vanished. The rest of that day blurred into a haze of emotions. Ethan called Clara into his office under the pretense of discussing a project, but the real conversation was about the years they had lost and the child who unknowingly had just unraveled their carefully built walls. Clara learned that Ethan hadn't abandoned her by choice. He had been sent overseas by his family to take over a failing branch of their company and had been told, falsely, that Clara had moved on. Letters he had written never reached her, and when he returned months later, she was gone from the city, leaving no trace. As the truth unfolded, Clara's anger slowly gave way to a storm of conflicting emotions, relief that he hadn't betrayed her, pain for the years of struggle she had faced alone, fear of opening her heart again. Ethan, on the other hand, was devastated by the realization that he had missed the first 6 years of his daughter's life. He vowed to make things right, not just with Clara but with Lily, whose innocent word had sparked a reunion that fate had delayed for too long. In the days that followed, Ethan began showing up, not as the CEO but as a father trying to earn his daughter's trust. He brought Lily storybooks, sat with her at the doctor's appointments, and even joined Clara in the small hospital cafeteria late one evening after Lily was admitted for a few nights to recover from her illness. Slowly, Clara began to see the man she had once loved, the one who was patient, kind, and sincere. The ice around her heart started to melt, but she remained cautious, determined not to let her hopes rise too quickly. The turning point came one rainy afternoon when Lily, now recovering, reached out her small hand to hold Ethan's as they walked out of the clinic together. "I'm glad you're here," she said softly, her words breaking down the last of Clara's resistance. In that moment, Clara realized that whatever pain the past had held, the present offered a chance to heal, not just for her but for the little girl who deserved the love of both her parents. By the end of their journey, the three of them stood together not just as co-workers or strangers tied by fate but as a family piecing itself back together. Clara learned that sometimes life's cruelest detours lead us back to where we were always meant to be. Ethan learned that redemption comes from actions, not words. And Lily, the little girl who had unknowingly bridged a gap between two broken hearts, learned that love can find its way home, even after years of being lost. If this story has touched your heart and reminded you of the power of forgiveness and second chances, please like this video, share it with someone who might need hope today, and subscribe to StoryNest for more stories that remind us what truly matters. And before we close this chapter, we'd love for you to comment below, what's one moment in your life when kindness or forgiveness changed everything for you? Love finds a way, hope keeps us going, and second chances often come when we least expect them. Sometimes, all it takes is a single word spoken by a child to change the course of 3 lives forever.